Let's get back to the basics. See, in the book Think and Grow Rich, Arthur Napoleon Hill quoted a poem. And while I was reading this book this morning, it struck me that, with the times that we're going through right now, right? See, what we're going through right now is a crisis, all right? We are going through a crisis right now, and I felt like with this poem, maybe we can make some things better in the world, all right? So check this out. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win, but you think you can't, it almost certain you won't. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For out of the world we find success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. If you think you are outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man. But sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. Guys, my name is Vincent Owens. I'm the coolest canopreneur in the world. And the reason why I'm making this video today is because I want to share some light on the world. We're going through a crisis right now. See, the definition of a crisis is an unplanned or uncontrolled change, right? A crisis is an unplanned or uncontrolled change. See, right now, because we're in the sense of a crisis, right? The world has went through a change, right? A lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people have lost their marriages. A lot of people have lost loved ones, right? A lot of people's lives have changed, have done a complete 360, all because of something that was unplanned and uncontrolled with the change. Now, the thing about it is, in that poem, it says that it's all about your will, right? It's all about your will. So what are you willing to do? What are the thoughts that are governing your day-to-day, right? Whether you're in a crisis or not, the one thing you can control is your own thoughts. So today I want to talk about how you can turn a crisis into 7 basic benefits, right? How you can take a crisis and turn them into something that's beneficial for you, right? You don't got to sit around and mope and be sad and be depressed because of the fact that you're sitting in a crisis. See, guys, whether you're broke or you're rich, when a crisis comes, everybody's affected. Whether you're broke or rich, when a crisis comes, everybody's affected, right? So I was taking some notes this morning, kind of jotting down some ideas, some thoughts, and I got to share it with you, right? See, it is the test. It is the test. See, this crisis is nothing but a test, right? It's nothing but a test. So the test that creates trust and credibility, right? A crisis is a test that creates trust and credibility, right? Crisis comes to give us the credibility. See, people don't care about you when you're going through the hard times. People talk about you when you get out of the hard times and you've had success. That's when you become a legend in your industry. That's when you become the pivotal person that everybody looks up to in your industry, in your family, in your friend circle, right? So I want to share some of the benefits, the 7 benefits of a crisis that you can use in your life today that will help you take this crisis and turn it into something that is more positive, right? So number 1, a crisis is the incubator of creativity. Guys, crisis is the incubator of creativity, right? People are much more creative, right? When you're going through something, when you don't have a choice, you have to get creative, right? See, I did cannabis events, but we can't do events anymore. But I have a voice. My purpose is to impact millions of people's lives through my voice, whether it's in the cannabis industry or any industry, right? So that's why I knew that this first thing was true, because crisis is the incubator. It can speed up your creativity. Those creative juices that you've always wanted to create, right? That invention, that business, right? that relationship that you've always wanted to create, it can all become true through the moment of a crisis, right? See, humans seldom have created anything of lasting value unless they were tried or hurting. Think about it. Most people don't create anything of lasting value unless they were tried, right? Unless they're going through a struggle, right? It's all in your mindset, right? Number two, crisis demands a new way of thinking about old problems. Well, what are your old problems? Well, your old problems are your mortgage, right? Your cell phone bill, right? Well, if you lost your job, if you lost your business, right? If things have taken a turn, guess what you have to do? You have to create a new way for you to be able to create income, because those bills, that mortgage, it's not going to go away. Right? It's not going to go away just because there's a crisis. You still got to pay rent. You still got to pay a mortgage. You still got to keep the phone on. You still got to put food on the table for your family, for yourself, right? So what we have to do is, crisis demands a new way of thinking. You got to think outside of the box. Crisis makes you think outside of the box. You can't be comfortable in a crisis because, number one, your comfort zone is your broke zone. And if you stay in your broke zone during a crisis, you'll probably be sleeping under a bridge. Okay? Number three, crisis is an opportunity to improve and advance old ideas, right? When we're in a crisis, again, our mind starts to think differently, right? There's a lot of old ideas that we didn't have that same force. We didn't have that same, that same desire because we weren't in a crisis. Most people were comfortable sitting in the place that they were, right? Most people were in their comfort zone, right? So when you go through a crisis, take it as a chance for you to improve and advance your old ideas. Number four, crisis comes to produce growth and development. See, you can grow through a crisis. See, you can grow through a crisis. You can develop through a crisis. See, while you're sitting at home, instead of you sitting at home and watching Netflix, right? Instead of you sitting at home and watching movies, guess what you could be doing? You could be sitting at home and working on personal development, working on self-growth, growing every day, right? See, I want you to think about a seed, right? When a seed first is put in the ground, right? It's not comfortable. That seed is not comfortable. When that caterpillar is in the cocoon, it's balled up inside. It's not comfortable, right? So you're a seed. Your life is a seed, right? And it has to grow. So take this crisis as the environment for you to be able to grow, right? See, that seed, that caterpillar is stuck in a crisis zone. It doesn't have room to grow until it finds a way to continue to develop itself, right? Its environment develops it, right? So guess what? You got to be put in the right environment when it comes to a crisis. You can't stay in the same environment that you had a couple months ago. You got to completely make a shift. There has to be a 360 in your life. Number five, crisis creates new opportunity, right? Crisis creates new opportunity. What new opportunities can you find, right? Well, look, maybe you have experience, right? Maybe you have experience in working at a bank. Well, guess what? The bank is not hiring. So maybe you got to figure out how to work at a hotel, right? Maybe you got to figure out how to do something else, right? Maybe you got to discover your purpose during the crisis. What you got to think about is maybe God put this crisis in our lives so that we could reset, right? So that we could reset and find new opportunities. Because remember, the opportunity that you was in, that job that you was in, you weren't even happy in the first place. So why would you come out of the crisis to look for another job, right? Guys, you gotta create opportunities. We were created in God's image. That means we have the ability to create because God was a creator. If we were made perfectly in his image, you have the ability to create. So go out there and create new opportunities, right? Number six, a crisis produces and manifests true leadership capabilities. See, guys, a true leader, see, you're not a true leader when you're leading people when things aren't hard. Anybody can do that. Anybody can lead in the time when there's no type of crisis, when there's no type of issues going on, right? Anybody can lead. true leaders are defined and developed and manifested when there's a crisis, right? Can you step up to the plate? Your business went down? Cool. Can you step up to the plate and make an idea for it to come back in reality, right? Can you lead people? Can you teach people? Can you encourage people? Can you be an emotional catalyst for people's lives during a freaking crisis? Can you do that? Well, that's when true leadership is uncovered, right? See, let me read something to you. Let me read something to you, right? See, leadership is proven, right? Leadership is proven and tested during a crisis. And number 7, a crisis ignites the passion of a new vision or an old vision. So what was that vision you had at the beginning of 2020, right? What was that goal that you set for yourself at the beginning of 2020? See, your life rises and falls on your vision. See, God said people without a vision shall perish, right? People without a vision shall perish. So can you use this crisis to be the ignition, right? Be the igniter in your life for the passion of a new or an old vision that you never, ever got around to do. Why? Because you looked at a crisis as all negative when you should have been looking at the benefits that come from a crisis, right? So it's the coolest canopreneur in the world. And I want to let you guys know, if you're going through a crisis right now, the number one crisis in the world is people's jobs. The number one issue, the number one thing that people are afraid of is financial stability, right? If you're going through a financial crisis right now and you're looking for a new opportunity, you're looking for a way to grow and develop, you're looking for a way to improve and advance your old ideas, right? If you're looking for a new way of thinking, if you're looking for an incubator of creativity, if you're looking for your passions to be revisited, right? To ignite your passions of your old vision or your new vision, go out there and live the life that God wanted you to live. Because you got to say this thing to yourself every single day, right? It is my best interest for me to please God. And the only way that you can please God is by being successful. Why is that, Vincent? Well, let me tell you this before we end this video. See, just like this shirt, right? Just like this shirt was created, right? Any manufacturer in the world. I mean, if I grab this book, if I grab my cell phone, if I grab my MacBook, right? Every single product has a brand. It has a name, right? Every product. No manufacturer puts out a product without first stamping their name on it, right? Even these Nike flip-flops that I have on, right? I'm telling you, everything has a name on it, right? So you got to realize that God created you. God is the manufacturer of your life, right? And guess what? He wants you to succeed, because no manufacturer wants you to not succeed. No manufacturer wants their product to not be A1. All right? So go out there and please God by correcting your mentality and chasing your vision and keeping your goals in front of you during the crisis. I'll see y'all at the beaches in the bank. Because remember, the bottom's getting way too crowded and the top got enough room for us all. Let's go.